accurate are the wearables like the Apple Watch, the Whoop, and the Oura Ring. There's a researcher that compiled over 16 research studies that measured sleep stages, heart rate, HRV, tell you how accurate they are. So today, as we go through a little day in the life in New York City, I'm gonna share the results from what I saw. It was from a Reddit post, which I'll have a link down below. And I saw a tweet from Dan Go, I think it is, who also discussed it in deeper detail. But today we're gonna share all that information in video form. This is an amazing bike, which they did send to us, and I'm loving it. But I really want to bike fast today, and I need Zach, my filmer, to use this bike. So we're gonna boom, and this is a faster road bike. So we're gonna bike around Central Park here and share more about the data. So it looks like this was from a researcher. His username is Kaigo app on Reddit. And it looks like they have an app where you can compare wearables, which is pretty interesting. I'll have to test it out. Let me know if you want to see that video, comment below. But the Dan Go, his tweets, I would say, went pretty viral about this information. That's how I discovered it. And what they kind of found out was that sleep staging, which I've kind of always known, if you follow the Quantified Scientist on YouTube, great guy, Rob, love him. But sleep staging is the poorest in terms of the accuracy. So I think when people say, hey, how much deep sleep did you get, or REM sleep, I wouldn't make drastic life changes based on information. I've always trusted the heart rate and heart rate variability the most. But if you were to ask which one scored the highest, it was the Apple Watch. Hence why that is kind of my favorite wearable. And the Quantified Scientist also has seen that in his like N of 1 studies. I think he's trying to incorporate more friends too. But that's moderate accuracy. It's not extreme accuracy. So that's just something to keep in mind. You're not getting perfect scores, but you're getting the best moderate scores. And the worst at sleep stages, Garmin. Crazy to think, right? All right, so today, what are we doing? We're biking through Central Park. I'm doing not the full loop, but 80% of the entire loop. I had some stuff done to my foot, so I can't run. So that kind of sucks, but biking is the next best alternative. And as it's starting to get warm, it got cold again. So if you watch these vlogs, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, follow me at Shervin Shares on YouTube and Instagram. The first week, it was cold. We had a beanie, we're running outside. The second week is hot. We're shirtless essentially. 80 degrees Fahrenheit. This third week, it's freezing cold again. Why does the weather keep getting hot, cold, hot, cold? Keep it steady. I just want it easy and clean. But that's part of New York, you know. We had to endure one of the harshest winters. So this summer is going to be beautiful. Until then, I'll be out of breath. I think just get yourself moving. Right now, I have no specific bike workout other than try to bike one Central Park loop. If I'm feeling good, soon I'll start doing 2 full loops. And then maybe add the actual full loop, baby steps. Getting out here and moving is the most important thing. Consistency over time gives you the best benefits. Okay, what about specific sleep stages, like deep sleep? Well, they found that it's even worse. That just shows you how much you cannot make life decisions, change your habits and behaviors based on this information. How you feel should be the #1 marker. But I do wear all the wearables, and it's just interesting. The more you wear, the more you learn not to fully trust every specific metric. But heart rate variability, we're getting to later, those I trust a lot. Whoop seemed to be the most accurate, but 6 devices tended to classify them as wake or deep sleep and REM as light sleep. So they kind of mix up the sleep stages. So the big important thing here, take the deep sleep metrics all with a grain of salt. You know, I've mentioned in my videos, salt, salt, salt. Use it if it's helpful, but don't be like, oh no, I had this thing last night and I got 20 minutes more deep sleep. Like, it could have been a lifestyle behavior change. Like, there's so many factors at play that one thing you did last night, one supplement you took, is not gonna automatically give you 20 more minutes of deep sleep. Like those Instagram ads that say that, do not trust them at all. Yeah, those are the worst ads. Honestly, if an ad's like, I got this much more deep sleep because I took the supplement, do not buy that product. Instead, subscribe to Shervin Shares. All right, we're gonna bike around Central Park here and get a little bit of cardio in. I'll share my final stats. I want to dive deeper into heart rate variability. You'll be surprised at the results at what this guy found out. It's pretty crazy. Okay, HRV, which is, we've seen studies before that's pretty accurate, versus the Oura Ring had a 5.96% error versus the gold standard, and the Whoop had 8.17. So that's where these devices start to shine. The Oura Ring, I assume, because it captures data from your finger. So when it comes to heart rate and heart rate variability, I think that's where you're gonna get the most accurate data. All right, we did about 11 miles of biking here in Central Park, which isn't a lot. You know, it's still something. How long was this bike ride? About an hour, 50 minutes. It's better than nothing. You know, I'm getting a little lazy. Feeling a little sad this past few months. So any movement's better than no movement. So that's it for the ride now. We're gonna get changed in and go on with our day. Resting heart rate, which we talked about, Oura Ring Gen 4 leads the pack again. But the one thing that this study found is most trackers are pretty good. They're like, the data you can trust. So if you want to get a really cheap tracker for a resting heart rate, most likely you're going to get good data. Active heart rate, once again, Apple Watch is the winner. 86% accuracy during exercise, Fitbit 73%, Garmin 67%. So if you really want to train to a specific heart rate zone, that's what Dan said, you want to make sure you're getting an accurate device.
Right.
Right. Because he's been training. Look at these biceps, bro. See, he's been lifting weights.
Bro,
Damn,
been
bro.
watching Shervin shares videos and look at these guns.
Jeez, is that the lighting or is that him just getting strong? But which wearables you got on, Colt?
Well, I got nothing today, but I've been rocking a Casio. I have an Apple Watch, but I just can never wear it for some reason.
See, it's not necessary to have a wearable, but if you are, this study will hopefully help you pick the right one. Okay, now what about step count? Well, Oura Ring was awfully bad at step count in these studies. Garmin wins at 82.6%. Apple Watch was right behind at 81.1%. It's okay for step count if you're trying to do 10,000 steps. Maybe do an extra 500 to 1,000 just to be safe. When it came to calories burned, I did a video. I tested calorie burn on devices. I'm NF1, so it's not a research paper, but they're all over the place. Apple Watch was the quote unquote best at 71% accuracy and Garmin at 48%. So it's like, can you work out, look at the calories burned, and then eat a meal based on that? Most likely, you do not want to be making direct decisions. That's where I use a scale, and I should be. If my weight's going down, I'm eating less calories. So that's the best way, I think, if you want to really track how many calories you're consuming in and out. I wouldn't use the calorie burn on your watches. Now, let's talk about VO2 max. We're gonna head down the West Side Highway. The bike that I use, the road bike, is great when I wanna work out, but there's like, I have to put on a bib. There's so many pieces and equipment. This is my new commuter bike, and it's a great workout bike. So we're gonna show you what it's like just biking around New York City. This thing is stunning. We actually really like this bike. We've been using it for the past few weeks, and it's really nice. Well built, it's light, we can move it around. This is our new bike of choice over a city bike and any kind of zone 2 workouts. I'm not lying, this is not part of the integration. It's a very nice bike. We're gonna start using this every single week. Next, we're gonna sit down. I need to test my Starlink because we're going to London, because all you said, go to London, so we're going to London, but I need internet when I'm there, so we're bringing the Starlink Mini. I need to make sure it works. So we'll talk about the next data points while we set that up. All right, we just set up the Starlink here, and hopefully we'll be able to make sure this works so that we have internet when we go to London. But VO2 max. Garmin had a 7% error, the clear winner. Apple Watch 13 to 16%, and they underestimate in fit individuals. So if I'm fit, I'd like to think so. It's probably underestimating. I did a video on this too, where I compared my personal VO2 max to fitness trackers. So if that's something you want to measure, Garmin's probably the best. And know that like a lot of these devices they used were the older models. So you're not getting the data in this research papers on the newest and latest and greatest versions, which is a big downside. I kind of wish there was research that was up to date. Blood oxygen, Apple Watch wins at 2.2%. Garmin Venue was at 5.8%, and 67% of them, Garmin Venue was at a 5.8%. So anything SpO2 or health related, SpO2, Apple Watch leads again at a 2.2% mean error. Apple, man, they built some good stuff. Garmin's good too. They all have their pros and cons. Seems like Oura wins in some categories, Apple wins in some, and Garmin in others. But there's no like clear winner. That's the biggest takeaway here. I think it's good to look at the trends, know that there's gonna be potential deviation in the actual data. So it's not like you're taking this as it exactly is, but it is much cheaper than going to a lab and getting a test done for VO2 max or like calories burned. And that's where these devices can be helpful. They give you, some information in the general direction. All right, I'm gonna test the Starlink and head over to the office, and I have some office updates that we haven't given you from past few weeks ago. I said we were gonna get something, maybe we got it, but I gotta give you a tour of how the office has changed. A lot of clear views of the sky, but that's our best bet here. So in Manhattan and New York City, if you wanna use a Starlink, you have to go on the West Side Highway, point it northeast, I think it is, out of the buildings. Ideally, you're on a pier. 99, oh, we're getting 100 megabits download. Look at that, SpaceX Starlink. Some of my best performing shorts are Starlink videos. So maybe we gotta make more Starlink videos. I just wanna make sure it works here before we boot it up in a different country. Back to the studio. Now, I just need a way to hang this bike on the wall. That's the ideal scenario. But I'll be biking to work every day. It's beautiful out, it's sunny. But boxes! I told you guys we had so many boxes. There's more boxes downstairs. But those are my own problem, they're Amazon. Anyways, I said we were gonna get a TV. Well, would you look at this now? We got a nice flat screen TV. Prime real estate. I can go ahead and play Apple TV because yes, you seer. Don't say those magic words. We got me on there. I can watch the world's greatest YouTube channel, Shervin Shares. Subscribe to notifications. Oh, damn. What a cool video.
We're gonna attempt to run today. Big life updates coming.
Big life updates. I never shared the thing that I was too scared to tell you because I was too scared to tell you. We'll put that in next week's video. If you want to know, comment below. I know some of you commented, what were the things you're too scared? Well, that didn't happen. I know, it's okay. It's okay, life will go on. We'll share it next week, but I'm gonna share the conclusions on this study, and then we have to clean up this office because it's a mess and open up those boxes, and I gotta pack for London. If you wanna see the London vlog, subscribe, turn on notifications so you can see that coming out in a few days. I'll probably be in London when this gets published. So the video's coming very soon. Weekly videos! Office update, new TV, check. I think next up is getting a bigger TV. I did steal this from our house at the content closet, so now we don't have a TV there. So Sony, you wanna send us a TV? Fitness update, I am training for a fall marathon. That is the main thing that I'm chasing after, and it's like, okay, how accurate are these wearables? Which one will I be using to train? So I will be using all the wearables and getting kind of like a general idea of are they all uplifting together or not? Or is one going up and the other one's not? Then I know, okay, I might not be improving as much, but that's where devices can be helpful. The most important thing, if you watch my 2026 beginner guide to running, training plan. So it's about consistency, showing up, and training. These devices are just tools to help measure little things. Don't obsess over them because obsession will kill you. Obsess over your goal. Obsess over showing up every single day. That is way more important. I feel like Zach Pograb, obsession. But I'm curious, let me know in the comments below, how have wearables maybe like ruined your life or fixed your life? I wanna hear all the stories. Go read them below. Thumbs up the one that relates to you the most. Subscribe to notifications. Follow me at Shervin Shares on Instagram. We'll see you in the next video. We'll be in London. Peace.